You guys are watching the Cowboys Report, made possible by Magic Spoon, healthy cereal that tastes delicious as well. Get $5 off your first order at magicspoon.com/Cowboys. That link, by the way, folks, will be in both the comment section and in the description. I appreciate Magic Spoon sponsoring today's video. Let's chat Cowboys rumors here. Once again, I am Tom Downey. We've got a significant one in a bit of a dead season right now around the NFL, but that is on Amari Cooper. Is he going to be ready for training camp? I'm giving this 2 stars for now, and this comes to us from Mike Fisher, who has the update at long last that I've been waiting for. Fisher says Cooper's timeline for recovery going to put him right up against the edge of the start of training camp, so he might not be ready. I almost gave this 1 star, to be honest, because the Cowboys do not have my trust in terms of what they put out there, what they leak, what they allow to be sourced, whatever, in terms of being reliable when it comes to injuries. I've got visions of Lael Collins dancing in my head still. Now, the report from Fisher is that Cooper shouldn't miss much, if he does miss any, of training camp. And I do very much want to believe in that. But this has not gone right. This recovery for Amari Cooper has not been the way it was supposed to be. Now, Cooper in the past has had issues, mostly lower body stuff, over his NFL career. Has not missed very many games, but has always battled through them, sometimes having to come out of games and making little impact, like in the Jets game 2019, for example. Here are some of those injuries, right? 2015, plantar fasciitis for much of the season. 2017, ankle sprains in November and December, his worst year of his NFL career. 2019, a right plantar fasciitis issue, also had thigh and knee later on in the season. And then at the end of 2020, in January, Cooper underwent right ankle surgery. That was pushed and described as, hey, this is not a big deal. This is a minor cleanup procedure, nothing to be concerned about. That was several months ago. Cooper's not cleared to participate at camp yet. That feels like a big deal. Training camp, folks, is just around the corner. And we'll call it 2 weeks away. We'll round a little bit there. August 5th is the Hall of Fame game. Now, if Cooper's not out there at the start of camp, I'm not going to be concerned. He's not going to play in the Hall of Fame game. I know the starters are not going to be out there. That's not something the organization is going to do. It's a meaningless preseason game. It'll be the backups. But if he's not back at camp when August gets going, at least in some capacity, that's a red flag for me. That's when I will start to be concerned. As we sit right now, early July, with a maybe, maybe not Cooper good to go day 1 of camp, I don't think it's panic time. I don't think we're at the, oh my God, I'm freaking out, they got to get this figured out. I'm not there yet. I am still on the lower end of our panic level scale. So I want you guys, though, to let me know how you're feeling here. What is your panic level at the current moment over Amari Cooper? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're not concerned at all. 10 being you're freaking out. You think his career is going to be over or something crazy. Now, I do think it's somewhere above a 1 because Cooper was supposed to be back by now. Ironically, after all the concern that was made over Dak Prescott and his ankle issue, it ends up being Amari Cooper that we're now a little bit more concerned about here in July. I'm not panicking yet, but this is noteworthy. This was not supposed to be the timeline for a Cooper recovery. Now, despite all those nicks and bruises and bumps and all that stuff, Cooper's been pretty damn consistent. Outside of a bad season in 2017, Cooper's always been a 1,000-yard guy, normally around the 7-8 touchdown mark, and the targets have gone up the past 2 years, and that's because the Cowboys have thrown it more, and Cooper's been reliable. Now, sometimes the game-to-game consistency isn't great, but the Cowboys are a better team when Amari Cooper is out there. After all, with Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb, this is one of, if not the outright best receiving core in the NFL. The Cowboys have that level of talent. So I want Cooper out there. I am not in the group of trying to dump Cooper right now to make room for Gallup's contract. That's not a concern for me as we sit. But if Cooper ain't healthy this year, that might change the narrative quite a bit, and my opinion quite a bit as well, once we get to next offseason. So we'll see more once camp gets going here in just a couple weeks. Let's turn now to Dak Prescott. Could he be the MVP? I'm giving this 1 star. And I think anything above 1 star is setting up unrealistic expectations. Frankly, I think every MVP should be 1 star. MVP candidate should be 1 star. It's tough to win. So yeah, ESPN mentioned him as an MVP candidate, and I think that's fair, but I don't think it's a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. And ESPN did cite the unsustainable pace that Dak Prescott was on before his ankle injury, but MVP doesn't go to the best player or even at times the true most valuable player. It goes to the best player on a really good football team that more often than not exceeded expectations significantly. Now, the Cowboys could be that team. It is a possibility. Dak Prescott last year before his injury was playing very well. As a reminder, he had as many total touchdowns in 4.5 games last year as Daniel Jones did in the entire season, as intern Marshall catches strays on today's video. The 2020 pace, by the way, was completely unsustainable. Now, it's obscene, 6,760 yards, unsustainable. It was going to come back down to earth. Like, there was no way they were going to do it quite that often, and part of the high volume in terms of yards was because the Cowboys' defense was so bad, they had to throw it every game, and Dak somehow with them in games that most teams might have just wilted on in halftime. Now, we do have some updated MVP odds, and I think that Dak's position is reflective of the one star here. Mahomes plus 400, duh. He's going to be the favorite every year he's healthy. That's only fair. Aaron Rodgers plus 800. Josh Allen plus 1,100, and then a three-way tie for fourth. Matt Stafford, Tom Brady, and Dak Prescott. I'll make note, by the way, Dak Prescott's MVP odds have jumped significantly, especially since the news of his ankle recovery has become a little bit more widely reported across the major networks. So what do you guys think? What is the percent chance that Dak Prescott ends up winning NFL MVP this season? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now, those of you who know me know that I love peanut butter. It is my absolutely favorite food. I love it in ice cream. I love it in all types of options. Not the best food for me, especially when I pair it with the ice cream. But Magic Spoon has healthy peanut butter flavored cereal. And of course, it's not just the peanut butter, by the way. Tons of options. They've got fruity, frosted, blueberry, cinnamon, cocoa, and a whole lot more. Get $5 off your first order of healthy cereal that tastes too good to be true when you head over to magicspoon.com/cowboy. You see the link there? Over top of my chest area, which is hiding my dad bod because I have not eaten great. Magic Spoon helping me fix that, by the way. But that URL will be in the comments section and in the description. It's clickable, so all you guys got to do is head over to magicspoon.com/cowboys and save $5 on your first order of a box, or maybe 4 of them in the process. Let's go to the offensive line now. Do the Cowboys have to keep Connor Williams? Those of you who know me very well and have watched the show for an extended period of time know that I believe and am a fan of Connor Williams. I'm only giving this the 1 star, though. I don't think Bleacher Report was right in their article saying get one player every team's got to keep next off season. They went with Connor Williams, and although I do understand and agree with some of the logic there, I don't think this was the correct decision. Now, Williams has gotten better each and every season. Yes, he was the rare healthy one on offensive line that was very banged up, and offensive line stability and consistency matters a lot. I agree with both of that. But the selection of Williams seemed to ignore some other top candidates. Connor Williams, though, is not nearly as bad as a vocal minority of the fan base wants to make him out to be. Is he Zach Martin? God, no. Absolutely not. He's never going to be Zach Martin. There's like one other Zach Martin in the NFL, and his name is Quentin Nelson. But Williams has proven to be, when you look across the rest of the NFL, an above-average starter. If you want to argue average, okay, whatever. He is a good player on the Cowboys' offensive line. If he's your worst or second worst starter, like I think he was, or he's on a healthy Cowboys offensive line, then you're probably in pretty good shape. He's never going to be Tyron or Martin or Collins, I don't think, although I think he'll get better again this year because he's shown 3 years of growth. But he's never going to be those top-tier guys. That's okay. But I think that Bleacher Report made a mistake picking Williams. Yes, I would rather have him over Leighton Vander Esch, the other name that they mentioned. But they looked over 2, I would argue, more important pending free agents next year. Your favorite Michael Gallup, and also Randy Gregory. Hell, I'll throw Dalton Schultz in there just to give us a nice even 5 there. So I believe in Connor Williams. I'm not sure I want to pay him, though, what I think he's going to command on the open market. A salary cap that's set to rise, a league that is desperate to find even average starters. Shit, guys, look what Eric Flowers went for. He was never that good. Connor Williams is better than him. Flowers got $10 million a year. Do you want to pay Connor Williams that? I frankly don't want to. So with that in mind, of the top pending Cowboys free agents, pick one to keep. Type CW for Connor Williams. Type in LVE for Leighton Vander Esch. Type in MG for Michael Gallup. Or type in RG for Randy Gregory. Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. While you're down in the comments, by the way, double check and make sure you guys are subscribed. We are inside of 5,000 subscribers now to get us to the 100K mark. Once we get there, YouTube sends me a plaque. I'm going to keep it and hang it up on my wall as a mark of pride for myself. But the subs out, producer Brett doesn't like that. I'm keeping it some way or the other. So help us get there. If we don't get there by, by the time the baby comes, my baby comes in November, I think producer, I'm going to get fired. Oh, now wait a minute. I was going to say you could keep the plaque. Okay, things have changed. If you haven't already, help me keep my job by subscribing right now. Let's talk Jayron Kearse now. Is the veteran safety on the roster bubble for the Dallas Cowboys? ESPN says this, and frankly, I'm inclined to agree. I'm giving it 3 stars as opposed to 4 because the safeties are bad here for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Kearse he showed some promise at points with the Minnesota Vikings. He started games for the Detroit Lions. He was also cut late last year after starting games by Detroit. I think on most teams, Kearse is fighting for the safety 4 role, if that. In Dallas, Jayron Kearse is fighting for safety 3 and or to make the roster because Donovan Wilson, Damontae Kazee are locks. They're making it. The competition then, I think, boils down to 3 main players. No disrespect to Tyler Coyle, the UDFA from Purdue, and Stephen Parker, the spent some time last year, but no one knows who that actually is. There's also Darian Thompson and Israel Mukuamu. Again, most teams, those guys are maybe just practice squad guys or, training camp bodies. I don't love the options there for the Cowboys. The biggest competition for Kearse right now, I think, is Darian Thompson. He even started games early last year, forever just losing my trust in this organization because they told you Darian Thompson better than Donovan Wilson. Never made sense to me. Will never, ever make sense to anyone with a brain. Thompson is not someone you want playing. Oh, by the way, you save over $1 million if you cut Darian Thompson. That's more in the savings than Jayron Kearse would save you just under $1 million. So let's say it comes down to these 2 guys. We'll get back to the player here in a second. Pick one of these players to cut, Jayron Kearse or Darian Thompson. Type in JK for Kearse, or you can type in DT for Darian Thompson. Remember, this is the one to cut, the one you don't want on the roster anymore. Get your votes in for me in the comments section. Now, this might be me just saying, hey, the grass is greener on the other side or whatever. I would rather have Jayron Kearse than Darian Thompson. Do I want to play either guy in major snaps? No, I do not. But if that's the case, give me the cheaper one. Give me the guy who I think Dan Quinn wants a little bit more for his defensive scheme, and the one that maybe could be better. It's not like Kearse would really be that much worse, I don't think, than Darian Thompson. So give me the new guy. Give me the one I haven't seen play games for the Cowboys. Give me the potential of the unknown over the reality of Darian Thompson is not very good. Of course, it might be a situation where both guys make it if the youngster doesn't emerge. That's probably Israel Mukuamu. Again, no disrespect meant to Tyler Coyle, but Mukuamu was the draft pick. Checks off the size and length boxes that Dan Quinn coveted in this year's draft for, reasons. Played a lot of corner at South Carolina. Also played some safety. I think as a draft pick of the new Dan Quinn-led defensive scheme, that gives him an advantage to make the roster. I wouldn't mind even just putting him on there as safety 4 and saying, you know what? You're probably not going to be active on game days. That wouldn't be a bad outcome for me because, hey, maybe there's some untapped potential. I did like him quite a bit. I had a 4th/5th, I believe, round grade on him. So I say keep him and Jayron Kearse over Darian Thompson. we will see, of course, quite a bit more with training camp and the preseason still to come.